Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been forever since Cassie and I hosted a call. I miss you guys. I wish it was still Summit. Also, like, I don't know about Cassie's team, but we literally partied so hard, I felt like hungover for a week. I was like, am I back in college? Like, what even happened? Okay. Leanne is the same way because she usually goes to bed early, but yeah, Summit, we partied hard. So we're really excited to talk to you guys today about our 10 tips. We're going to start off the calls like we always do, recognizing the coaches who hit Success Club, freaking crushed their goals from last month. And we're just going to read off the board from last month because today's the first. I know there's probably a handful of you who are already at SC already for July. I'm not there yet, but I will be there soon. But my name's Carly. If you guys don't know me, I am the CEO and founder of Team Root to Rise. I've been coaching for a little over 2 years now. Freaking love it, live, breathe, just everything coaching I absolutely love. And Cassie is the CEO and founder of Team and Gratefully Fit. She's been coaching for just a little less time than me, but we host these calls together because it's just super fun to work together to motivate and encourage and inspire each other. I think if there's one suggestion that's not a part of these 10 tips would be to find yourself a success partner. And if you find somebody who, maybe you don't click with, keep searching for somebody who you click with. I had a couple success partners that Jamie hooked me up with, and I was like, girl, that girl is not going the same place that I'm going. I need to find somebody who has the same goals as me, who's going to push me, and I'm not going to have to pull her. And Cassie has pushed me to be the best version of me every single day. And literally, we always say, like, we would be dead without each other. Like, it's literally like our inside joke. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to read off the success club points for my team, and then we'll hand it over to Cassie. All right, so at the top of the leaderboard is myself with Success Club 70 and 14 new coaches. Angie Gawa was at Success Club 22 with 7 new coaches. Jordan Bowman, SC 18 and 8 new coaches. Leanna Swords, SC 16 and 7 new coaches. Vic Phillips, SC 14 and 8 new coaches. Apples, SC 14 and 7 new coaches. Gina Funaro, SC 12 and 5 new coaches. Apples, I don't even say your last name because you're freaking Apples. Like, who needs a last name? Lexi Hegel, SC 10 and 4 new coaches. Crystal Clander, SC 10 and 4 new coaches. And Kylie Tolsma, SC 10. So good to see your name back up on the board, girl. Freaking killing it. And then the other handful of coaches that still made it: Kate Visser, SC 8, 4 new coaches. Megan Lusby, SC 8, 4 new coaches. Noelle Stockstead, SC 6. Chad Swords, SC 8, 3 new coaches. Sarah Carr, her first month of coaching, SC 6, killing it. Emily Sullivan, SC 6 and 5 new coaches. Nicole Scotty, SC 6, 3 new coaches. Peyton Schrader, SC 6, 3 new coaches. Kayla Eck, her first month of coaching, SC 6 and 3 new coaches. And Abby Collins, SC 6 and 1 new coach. I'm out of breath. That was for sure the biggest month of our entire freaking lives. Team Root to Rise, you are killing it. All right, go for it, Cass.
That was amazing. Holy crap. Okay, so I need to do some math here, but we have Cassidy Miller with SC. So I have coaches building their parents' accounts. So I think she's at SC 18 with 8 new coaches. I was at SC 18 with 8 new coaches. Skylar, I think this is her first month as a coach, and she's at SC 12 with 3 new coaches. That's amazing. Katie DeBoer, SC 10 plus 3 new coaches. She just hit Emerald last week. Whoop, whoop. Kayla, my diamond intern this month, SC 9 and 4 new coaches. Ellen Fisher, SC 6. And then Mary Beth Miller, SC 6 plus 3 new coaches. And then we had a whole bunch of coaches who were super, super close. So awesome, Jew.
All right, so tonight we're going to go over 10 tips, and Cassie and I were kind of like debating back and forth, like, what topic do we want to speak on? What do we want to talk about? And we thought we could just do something really actionable and just give you guys. So I'm going to give you 5 tips. Cassie's going to give you 5 tips, and hopefully these are things that obviously you guys are going to write down. So hopefully everyone has a piece of paper and a pen because smart people take notes. But they're things that are really action oriented so that you can just like look at it and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and tomorrow, and then I'm going to do this, this, this Tuesday. And they're just things that you can just hop on board and do. And it might touch on a whole bunch of different things that maybe you guys need to dive into. And it speaks on a whole bunch of different areas of coaching. So hopefully it is helpful. This call is recorded, so you guys can always watch it over again if you miss one of them, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end as well if anybody has any questions. So my number one tip is get results. which this is the perfect month for it because we have a launch of a new program. When we were at Summit, there was a coach that spoke, Emily Faber, and she went from 1-star diamond to 15-star diamond in a matter of 5 months. And she opened up her speech talking about the fact that she is a successful coach because she got results. She said she didn't change her business. 80-day obsession changed her business, and her ability to be really open and authentic about that journey and sharing every single day her workout programs and what she was doing is what exploded her business. So latch on to Lift 4. If you guys aren't doing it, I would highly recommend that you reconsider, because launches are the most pivotal things that you can jump on board with. Beachbody is a multi-million-dollar company. They're already marketing Lift 4 around Instagram, Facebook, like TV commercials, everything. So all we're doing is hopping on board and literally benefiting from all those marketing tools that they're already doing. And then we market it ourselves and the word is already out there. It's so, so easy. So use Lift 4 and use this initial test group on July 16th as your own personal test group, saying, hey, I'm doing this for the first time. I'm going to follow this program. I'm going to get amazing results. And I'm going to share with you guys every single step of the way. Remember that we are health and fitness coaches. There's a whole bunch of different types of coaches out there, and you can be whatever kind of coach you want, but specifically Beachbody, we're health and fitness coaches. So if you don't have health and fitness like results, it's going to be really, really hard to find success as a coach. So number 1, get results. Number 2 is belief. So the people who are successful in this business are just the people who decided to believe in themselves. And I know that this maybe doesn't sound like the most actionable item ever, but I can tell you guys, and I can promise you guys, the only reason that Cassie and I are successful is because we decided to believe. Cassie is a speech language pathologist. Like, it wasn't because she was super, experienced in the health and fitness industry, or she had 1 million followers on Instagram. Guys, I was a broke yoga teacher living with my parents with $200 in my bank account. I'm not kidding you. I came back from India. I signed up as a coach 2 months after I came back, and I had $200 in my bank account. Like, my challenge pack almost made me like legitimately broke. And the only reason we became successful is because we decided to believe that we could be successful. And if you're in this place of kind of like, hovering between trying to find success or not sure if you want to commit, the only thing that is blocking you is your inability to actually believe that this opportunity, or like we learned at Summit, this responsibility is available to you guys. And you could have all the trainings in the world, but at your core, if you don't believe that you can be a successful coach by getting healthy and showing other people how to do the same, then that moves me on to my third point. So my third tip is PD. So my second one is have belief in yourself, belief in these programs, belief in the company. But the third one is diving into PD and diving into things that you're struggling with. So if belief is something that you're struggling with, dive in and find PD books that really speak to, your lack of confidence, or maybe your lack of motivation. If you're struggling with organization, you need to dive into a PD book that helps you with organization. If you are a diamond coach and you're trying to rank advance to star diamond, or if you're really struggling with getting past that bare minimum of SC6, maybe it's time to start reading a leadership book, or the 10X rule, which will help you 10X your business and teach you how to go from bare minimum to massive results. So it's really easy to say, oh, this PD book isn't working for me. It's probably not working for you because it's probably not relating to the struggles that you're currently in your life. Right now, I have to dive into leadership. 6 months ago, I was diving into organization. And because 6 months ago, I dove into organizational leader or PD books, and I got super organized and focused on my business, I now no longer need to read organizational PD books. Now I'm really diving into leadership, because that ability for me to dive into organization PD books helps me get organized, helped me propel my business forward, and now I get to dive into a whole different type of PD. So leadership, whatever it is that you're struggling with, if you're still confidence, or struggling with, feeling like worthy or something like that, maybe you go into something that's a little bit more like lovey-dovey. Yeah, like Girl Wash Your Face is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But if you're trying to rank advance, or you're trying to, build like a 6-figure business, Girl Wash Your Face isn't going to build your business for you, So you're going to have to dive into things that are really specific to what you're wanting to do and the success that you're trying to find. Leadership books, I've had a lot of questions about leadership books. So the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell is an amazing one on leadership. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone is amazing as well. And then Grant Cardone actually wrote Be Obsessed or Be Average right after he wrote the 10X Rule, and Be Obsessed or Be Average is also another amazing one. Angie just recommended the Motivation Manifesto, I think, or something, by Brendan Burchard. She said that one was really, really good as well. And if you guys ever need a PD recommendation, just message Angie Gala, because she literally, I swear, reads one PD book a day. She has really, really good ones and a whole shelf to prove it. So PD, work on your weaknesses. The other part of PD that I wanted to dive into, and this kind of circles me back to my second point of belief too, is if you guys aren't diving into the national wake-up calls, I would highly recommend that you go back and listen to every single national wake-up call that Beachbody has ever put out. You can actually download the podcast section of your iPhone, and you can download the Beachbody podcast, and it uploads every single national wake-up call every single week. And I'm not kidding you guys, when I first became a coach and thought this was all bullshit and this was not real and there was no way I could be successful, I listened to those national wake-up calls on repeat, because guess who speaks on those national wake-up calls? People just like us. Every single Monday, people just like us hop on at 8 a.m. and they tell us how they went from not having any belief. They tell us about their story and how they found belief, how they created this amazing business, and how they're living their life exactly the way they wanted to. So if you're struggling with, really believing that you can do this, and the national wake-up calls are a really, really good place to start, because they're so realistic. They're from people just like us. They have stories just like us, and that really was what solidified this business for me. I mean, I remember getting like goosebumps every time I would listen to one of those national wake-up calls when I was a new coach, because I was like, this is real. Like, there's people out here that actually do this. Like, this isn't some author in a PD book, like sitting in an office somewhere. Like, this is real life people, like, telling me about their journeys. And that just, like, out of anything, just gave me so much belief and poured so much confidence into me, because every time I heard one of those ladies speak, I was like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it too. If she can do it, I can do it too. So it's really cool just surrounding yourself with people like that, whether it's PD or a book or it's a national wake-up call. So that's number 3. Number 4, take this seriously and be realistic about your goals. So I have so many coaches come to me all the time. Oh my gosh, like, I want to be a full-time coach just like you. Oh my gosh, I want to quit my job and do this. That's so amazing. I would love for you guys to do this, but I want to circle back and remind you that you have to be realistic about your goals, right? So realistic number-wise, realistic time-wise, and know that this responsibility/opportunity as a coach is available to anybody, which means anybody can sign up and say, I am a coach, I am a CEO, but realistically, like, you're going to have to put in the right time if you want it to reflect in the amount of money that you're making, the type of team that you're leading. So, if you want this to pay you a part-time income, that means that you're spending part-time hours on coaching. What's part-time? It's around 15 to 20 hours a week. And it's not 15 to 20 hours a week of scrolling on Instagram and checking into the team pages. It's 15 to 20 hours a week of doing business building, like, things that are actually going to push your business forward. So this isn't something to discourage you guys. And I actually have a YouTube that I can share on this and like what it really takes to become a full-time coach, because I know that that's a lot of your guys' goals. But I want you to be realistic about the fact that, like, if you want this to pay you a part-time income, you have to put part-time hours in, and they have to be hours that you're actually building a business, not scrolling a team page, not scrolling Instagram, not spending an hour on an Instagram caption. It's going out and building a business and actually helping people achieve their goals and live healthy, fulfilling lives. If you want a full-time income with coaching, you're spending full-time hours even while you have a full-time job building this business. So, when I was working 4 other jobs outside of coaching, I was still clocking in 30 to 40 hours every single week of business building activities that were pushing my business forward. So, if you want those goals, just be really realistic about them and understand the fact that, like, this is a real life company. This is a real life opportunity. This is real money that gets deposited into your bank account. So you have to actually really work for it, and it's going to be freaking hard, but it's 100% worth it. And I could go on to a 15-minute speech about that, but I won't. So the 4th one is take this seriously and be realistic about the goals you're setting for your business. The 5th one And my final tip is showing up. So showing up for your health and fitness journey, showing up in the team pages, showing up in your own challenge groups, your fitness groups, your own personally sponsored coaches and their pages, making sure that you're showing up and you're sharing your goals and your trainings with your team. I find a lot that people who, lean in the most to challenge groups, and I'm sure you guys can speak on this too, the clients that like all the pictures and who are always sharing in the group and supporting one another and motivating each other, the ones in the challenge groups that are always showing up, those are the ones that get the best results, right? The coaches who are most successful are the coaches who lean into the team page, who get on every single team call, who not only take information from the team pages, but pour information into the team pages as well. And I've seen that with my leaders, and I've seen that with the girls who decide to, really rock this business and make it something. It's their ability to show up in every single aspect of this business. So if anything, I would definitely encourage you guys to show up in every facet that you possibly can, and then share your goals with your team. So if you're a coach and you're pushing to Emerald, go ask whatever coaches you have on your team. Maybe it's only one coach. Tell them that you want to be Emerald, so you have to get one more coach on your team. If you have 0 coaches and you're like, okay, I want to become Emerald, go to your mom, go to your sister, go to your fiance or your husband, say, I want to reach Emerald. This is why I want to reach it. This is what will give me in my business. Will you support me with that? If you want to become a diamond coach and you have 4 personally sponsored coaches on your team, go live in your team page and say, hey guys, this is my goal. I want to be a diamond coach by, July 30th. And I'm going to need 2 people to step up and want to hit Emerald. Who wants to do this with me? When you create that accountability and that motivation and that concept of like, this is a team effort, this is teamwork, this is the only way we're going to get there is by doing this together, it roots people together and it encourages them to work alongside you, and they have this instilled vision of, whoa, this is a team, this is it requires teamwork to find success. The other thing about showing up, what was the other one that I was going to say? The other part of showing up is, if it's possible, or if you have, 4, 5, 6 PS coaches, I would definitely recommend doing, get-togethers with your team or hosting a team retreat. I know I'm freaking stoked for Lakeside Leadership, and it has pushed so many girls forward in their business, just creating that momentum, creating that, community feel, and saying, I really want to spend time with you guys. I want you guys to be there with me, has been something that's super helpful for my coaches. But again, that's me showing up and holding hands with my coaches and saying, let's freaking do this together. I'm not here going to point fingers and tell you what to do. I want you guys to be beside me and let's go change lives together. And then I'm just going to end my 5 tips with this quote that was actually shared at one of the leadership trainings at Summit. And I thought it was so cool. Who said it? Christina Delgado. She used to be a lawyer. She used to own her own law firm, and she actually quit her law firm, or she quit being a lawyer and has done coaching full time. But she said, your business is your home. Your vision is your view. And I was like, whoa, your business is your home? What? And she's like, guys, if you really think about it, these people that you work with every day, they are your home. They're the people who surround you. They're the people who support you. They're the people who are next to you, encouraging, inspiring, and motivating you. And your business will eventually give you that home, whether it's a home, a community feel, or a home physically. My business has given me this home where I live. But taking your business seriously enough to realize that your business is your home and your vision is your view. So whatever vision that you have with your team, whether it's to be a 15-star diamond team or an elite team or whatever, that will manifest into the view of what you have for your life, right? So the view for my future home is going to directly reflect the vision that I have with my team, right? Jamie always talks about, investing in this freaking amazing house that they would have never dreamed of being able to buy before. But if she didn't have that vision, that crazy, awesome, huge vision for her team, she would never be able to have that view from her home as well. So I know that's kind of deep, but if you think about it that way and you think about how that merges and connects and how, the freedom in your life is directly reflective of the business that you build here. Your vision or your view from your house or wherever you are is directly reflective of the vision that you share with your coaches and what you push your team to do and mentor and show them that they're capable of. So that is my 5 tips. And now Cassie's going to share hers.
Yay. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I'm going to share my screen because I like making slides because I personally am ADD. So I need something visually to look at when I'm listening to team calls. Okay. So my 5 tips are, we'll go through them quickly because I feel like that was really quick. So the first one, not to beat a dead horse, but I know Carly already touched on this. But tip 1 is it all starts with your transformation, because your transformation builds trust, which this was actually my first ever transformation picture when I started my business. And that picture alone helped me hit Success Club my first couple months, Because if you don't have, and I'm not saying you have to have a massive transformation. In fact, Carly probably gained muscle, really. Like you can go from skinny to muscular. You can go from, just me. I literally have like a 5-pound difference there. It could just be your face. It could be your skin's clear. Like your transformation can be so many things, but it builds trust. And a lot of times I have coaches come to me and they're like, I can't hit Success Club. No one will say yes. Nobody's taking action on my call to actions. So the first thing I do, guys, and I'm sure Carly does the same, is go to your Instagram and look at your pictures. And if I don't see any transformations, if I don't know what program you're doing, I don't know what day you're even on in your program, and you haven't posted an Instagram story about it in a week, then of course nobody's going to join you because they don't know what you're doing. So it's important to not only have that, be a product of the product is your most important thing, but also knowing that you have to be breadcrumbing that throughout your social media. And if I go to your social media, I should always know that you're doing a program. And you don't have to say the name, obviously, we want to use curiosity marketing, but I should know that you're doing a program, you're building muscle, you're getting these results, like whatever. So if you're struggling in your business, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, have I truly committed to a program? Am I following the calendar? You can't just skip around. That was me when I first started. And that's why my first 9 months as a coach were a shit show, because I just wasn't doing the things that every successful coach told me to do. I was a little stubborn. And now I know I never, ever do not follow the calendar. And in fact, if there's a workout on the calendar I don't want to do, that's when I'm like, I'm going to show up 10 times more, because it builds character in myself to be the kind of person that shows up even if I don't feel like it. So are you sharing daily? Another thing that I know it can seem a little bit repetitive, guys, but sharing every single day in my Instagram stories, my workout, has helped me so much, so much. And I wouldn't recommend doing like 15 moves. I literally do 2 to 3 moves in my Instagram stories, but they know every day 15 out of 21, day 16 out of 21, or whatever. And it's just really helped my business, because they see that you're consistent, and so many coaches aren't. And they're going to pick the coach that's consistent. So showing up in your Instagram stories with your workout is another way to not only keep you accountable, but another way to show them that you're doing it. So tip 1 is easy. That just benefits the shit out of you. Like if nothing else, you're going to look good as hell, right? So think about that. Tip number 2 is using your business activity tracker. So my story is different than Carly's in that I signed up a little after her. And then my first 9 months as a coach, I didn't treat this like a business at all. And one of the biggest mistakes I made was I did not use a business activity tracker until about 9 months into coaching. And after I started using it, I hit Diamond 3 months later. I never missed Success Club 10 and plus every month. This seriously changed my business. So if you're not using a business activity tracker, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. So I part of the reason I was afraid to use one for so long is because I knew deep down I wasn't doing the actions. And I didn't really want to look at a piece of paper and come to terms with the fact that I wasn't showing up and doing my shit. And so I just avoided it, which is the worst thing I could have done. So just get a business activity tracker. I know Carly shared tons. I've shared tons in our TGF Business Builders page. Ask your upline. Google Team Beachbody Business Activity Tracker. And this is the one I used my entire first year, and it was amazing. So you don't need anything fancy. So the reason this is important is because it's duplicatable. You have to create systems, especially once you guys are diamond and above coaches. I know as a new coach, this might not matter that much, but as a diamond and above coach, you have to always ask yourself, what is duplicatable? Because what's duplicatable works. And if something isn't duplicatable, obviously your team isn't going to see success. They're not going to hit Success Club. They're not going to rank advance. So if you're using this, then this is an amazing tool that you can tell your team, hey, this is how I saw success. You really should use this, and they can use it. Another reason is you can't improve upon what you don't track. So if you want to say, I really want to get better at recruiting coaches, but you don't even know how many coaches you invited last month, how in the world are you ever going to improve that number? So you can kind of look at how many conversations you're having, how many reach outs, and you can always improve. Another thing it does, and this is something I preach, is it helps you focus on productive activity, not results. So there's another quote that's marry the activity, divorce the results, because you cannot control ultimately how many Success Club points you get. You can just control how many people you invite, right? You can't control whether somebody says yes on the other end of that computer. You can control how many people you invite. So it helps you focus on the activity and the things you can control, which obviously then leads to better results. And then the last thing, I love the bat. I personally use a win the day tracker, but you could use a win the week. I'm more of a daily win the day person. But at the end of every day, I love to look at my bat and be like, if my coaches did what I did today based on my business activity tracker, they would literally make today their bitch. So that every day you should ask yourself that. If your coaches did what you did today, would they be successful? And if the answer is no over and over and over again, then that's probably why you're struggling and your team isn't growing or your coaches aren't growing. So using a BAP is amazing. If you need help finding one, reach out to your upline. Tip number 3, oops, I forgot to write tip number 3, but this is tip number 3, really simple. Eat that frog, use a timer. So there's an entire book called Eat That Frog, but I'll summarize it for you. Basically, it means to do the hardest thing first. So every morning when I wake up, especially now that this is like, I'm not working in the summer, before I do anything, I focus on my business and I do the hardest thing first, which for me is reach outs, because who the hell likes doing them? Like, they're not fun. I don't think anybody's like, oh, I'm so excited to reach out to some strangers today. Like, it's not fun for anybody, but there's always going to be, your business isn't here to entertain you. Your business is here to help you have a life of freedom and an amazing life. So there's going to be things that aren't always going to be fun. Those are the things that you should do first and foremost in your day, because otherwise, if you're anything like me, they just won't ever happen, like ever. So start your power hour or your power pockets by always doing the hardest thing first, whatever that is for you. It might not be reach outs, it might be invites, whatever. And then my second tip for that is set a timer for each block of activity. So if you work in power pockets or whatever, for each time you're going to do something, let's say reach outs, I don't just sit down and say, well, I have an hour to work my business, so I'll just see how it goes. Like, I literally set a timer for every pocket of activity. So set a timer for 15 minutes, reach out. Set a timer for 10 minutes, invite. Set a timer for another 10 minutes, check in my team pages and check in with my coaches. And I just keep doing that, and timers really help me stay focused because, again, I'm a little ADD. Tip number 4 is 10 extra reach outs, follow-ups, and invites. And this kind of came from Grant Cardone, who wrote the 10X Rule, and he also wrote the Be Obsessed or Be Average books Carly and I both love. And he always says people almost always underestimate the effort required to reach any goal. And so a lot of coaches, including myself when I started, would be like, yeah, I want to be diamond in a month. And their activity does not match that goal. Your activity level has to match your goal, or else you have to move your goal to something easier to reach. So your activities obviously have to match where you're going. So that means generally we're not doing as much as we could be or as much as we should be. And I'm not saying this to discourage you. It's just like being realistic about what it takes to reach things makes it less discouraging, honestly, because then you're like mentally ready for it. When I started coaching and I told Steve I want to be full-time, he didn't say, oh, give it a year, you got this, like this will be so easy, you're going to have it in a year, you'll be retired. No, he said give it 3 years. You're going to have to show up every day and work really hard, but give it 3 years, and that will be my reality. So that's just, it's a business just like anything else. So this should actually encourage you, because it's when things are hard, when you're 10Xing it and you're like, man, this is a lot of work, know that that's the way it is for everybody, and that's okay. So reach out to more than 3 people a day if you're a business builder. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm shooting for diamond. How many reach outs did you do today? I did 3. That is a very, 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 very slow progression. You might get there someday, but it's going to be like so slow, painfully slow, which is actually more uncomfortable for you than just going for it and actually doing the damn reach outs. So another thing that I heard a top coach say, she tells all of her new coaches that the day they start, she says, expect to invite 100 people to hit Success Club. And I know that sounds so crazeballs, but when you first start coaching, that's the reality sometimes, because you don't have trust built up, you don't have your social media built up, you don't have any progress pictures yet, and just know that that's the reality and be cool with it and just start doing the work, because it will pay off. And down the road, you won't have to invite 100 people necessarily to reach that goal. But when you first start, sometimes you do. Your effort must match the size of your goal. How to reach out to 50 people a day easily. Okay, so this is something, and it's actually from, I'll show you here. If you guys aren't a part of Beachbody Champions, you really need to be a part of this Facebook group. It's the top coaches in the network who do trainings. It's amazing. But Emily Feldesson, I think is how you say it, she did a training in there, and I would watch it after, like, whenever you get time. It's her 5 tips on improving her invites to challenge groups. But one of the things that she said that I really, really loved was, where did my Canva go? Oh, there we go. Was how she does reach out. So she literally reaches out to like 75 people a day, and she only has, I think, 6,000 followers, and she's number 12 in the company. So she isn't relying on followers like a lot of top coaches do to reach success. She's doing the work. And so in that video, she explains how she does that. But basically the concept is super simple. I have a paper that I made, and it has one just numbered, like just blank numbered 1 through 75. and she sets a timer. She sits down, and this is her frog, so she's doing it first, and she goes to her social media, either Instagram or Facebook, and makes 75 connections. Some of those are new people she's never reached out to, and she's just, reaching out for the first time, and some of them are connections. So she says, if you're wondering, like, what should I say to this person, just read your previous conversation and meet them where they're at. So do you need to build a relationship more? If that's the case, send them a message and build a relationship more. Do you just need to invite them because you've already built the relationship and they've been following you forever? Then invite them. Have you never talked to them? Then go ahead and reach out. And if you, do you just want to thank them for the support because, they've already told you no 3 times in the past 3 months and you just want to wait 1 more month? Then reach out and say thank you. 75 people a day of connections is so easy. And so many people are like, well, I don't know where to find people. Instagram stories, anybody who likes your posts, anybody who's following you. And another thing she said was she would go to her Instagram, type in the letter A, and every name who pulled up with the letter A, those were her connections for the day. Next day, letter B. And I've done that on Facebook. It works for Facebook too. And I know a lot of people don't use Facebook, but I do. And so I would reach out to anybody with the letter B on Facebook and then the letter C. So you can do it that way. You can do it anybody watching your stories. And another thing I've been doing recently with the way the Instagram algorithms change, my Instagram isn't, I've never had that social media that's just blown up. Like Carly's is amazing. She has awesome, like a huge number of followers. I've never had that. So I follow 100 people a day every single day. 100 people a day every single day. And that helps me always have new people following me back to reach out to. So if you have to do that, you have to do that. Like your social media, you're in charge of. So instead of just being like, shit, nobody's following me, like go out and build connections and find people you want to talk to and find people you want to follow and start being more social on social media, and that will help you. It gives you another place to reach out to people. So I hope that was helpful. And then tip 5 is track your reach outs, which is different than tracking a business activity tracker. I know Carly and I are both obsessed with Google Streak. If you haven't ever used Google Streak, it does take probably an hour to an hour and a half of your time to learn how to use. And there's YouTube videos that we can recommend, but it is such a time saver because I'm going to actually show you. This is I have some emails I need to respond to. But so you guys can see this. I have Google Streaks set up. These are my challenger prospects. Anybody I've ever invited to a challenge group, anybody who's ever filled out my form goes in that group. Then I have my actual challengers once they've ordered. I have my coaches and then my social leads. So I know a lot of coaches don't do this, but this has been a game changer. So what I do is every single time I reach out to somebody on Instagram, I don't track if I've reached out to them. I only start tracking once they respond. So I know where the conversation's going and I don't just lose that person. You have to be tracking who you're talking to. So as soon as somebody responds, boom, their name goes in here, where they're from, they're almost always Instagram. And I talk about, I just put little notes like, where are they from? Sells oils, on a journey, fashion blogger, not sure if into fitness. And then the most important thing for me with doing this is over here, I put coach. This column's called coach material ? And that's where everybody goes home like, that would be a good coach. And so I just put, and some of them are like, maybe, like, I really don't know. I need to keep stalking this chick and see if she ends up being a good coach material. But anyway, with the name yes next to it is somebody that I'm going to ask about coaching. And once I've asked them, I have another column that says asked about coaching. And that keeps me so organized because for me, one of the most important things I need to focus on right now is getting business builders and getting coaches because that's long-term success. Like you have to be doing that. And I'm not the coach, again, who just has people running to me to sign up as a coach. I have to do the work and build the relationships, but that's a really easy way. And then I can, move them through the funnel. So, I can look when I'm ready to invite to my challenge group. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I've been doing this for months. So I have a ton of people. This isn't going to stop because I fucking do the work. Okay. So that's been really helpful. So Google Streak's amazing. And it's just a really good way to track. Another benefit of it is you can follow, like today I had, in my challenger prospects, I had a whole bunch of emails that nobody responded to from last month and this month. So I can email them all at once. I don't have to email them one at a time and follow up with each of them, which can take an hour. I literally just click on all their emails, email them all at once, and I followed up with like 10 people in the matter of like 2 seconds. So Google Streak's amazing for tracking contacts. However, if you don't want to use Google Streak, my first year and a half, I used an Excel spreadsheet. And you can also use High Achievers Playbook, pen and paper. I wouldn't recommend paper. And I think that's it. So, and then when you tracking, you just want things like their email, the date you spoke to them, or program you met recommended, like if they give you any info, things like that. So I think that's my last tip. And so we can open it up for questions, if we have any.